Somebody's typing in the background. If you could please *6*, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody have a personal question?
Dr. Pollack?
Yeah.
This is Janet. I'm the new intern at Bodyfield. A frequent asked question is if that is, do people use the mattress for just general health medicine, but let's say they get a backache and they want to use the pillow, do they need to cut down on the time that they use the mattress for general health maintenance?
All right, well, that's a good question. I would probably need to deal in general with the issue of magnetic field sensitivity. Except for the individual who has extreme magnetic field sensitivity, I don't worry about how much time people have on the mattress. If you have somebody who has a difficult time getting over 2 or 3 or 4 in the levels, then I would agree with you that what you should do is to cut back the time that you're using it for in general terms when you're going to add another component. Or you're going to add the pillow to the treatment for the mat. Most healthy people otherwise, particularly with musculoskeletal problems, unless they have rheumatoid arthritis and their rheumatoid arthritis is very aggressive, they have very bad rheumatoid disease. In that circumstance, you could stimulate the immune system enough that you could make it worse. They may have reached a level of plateau or a level of function that they could tolerate, and then if you add the extra time, you could sort of push them over the edge. So, to summarize, anybody who has exquisite sensitivity in general to almost anything, very anxious individual, can't take a whole lot of any kind of medication without having problems, or has a very hot inflammatory process going on in the body, I think you have to be careful adding more energy. But, you know, whether you add the pillow for 8 minutes on top of the mattress for 8 minutes is no different than adding another 8 minutes to the mattress. So if you can do 16 minutes on the mattress, then you can do 8 minutes on the mattress and 8 minutes on the pillow. You should only add another component or another amount of time, when you've already gotten up to fairly high levels on the QRS. Or you're not responding, your body's just not responding at the lower levels, and you're not having any problems, then I would be more aggressive in the way I would manage it. Does that answer do you think that answers your question?
Perfectly, thank you.
What about cataract? There is some research from the European book, from our book, that there's been benefit found in people who have cataract. I think there's two ways to answer that question. One is the prevention of cataract, and people need to do the things they need to do to stop from having the cataract, like excessive UV exposures. But one of the components of cataract formation is low levels of antioxidants in the body. And so what happens with magnetic fields is that by keeping the body healthier from an immune perspective, you may actually be able to delay the progression of the cataract. Can you reverse cataract? We have not studied that possibility with the pen. We've seen that happen with some of these other more powerful European fields that are in our book, but we have not seen it with the QRS system. So the principle applies. I don't believe that there's a threshold factor that you need a certain level field in order to have that benefit happen. The lens, fortunately, is pretty superficial in the body, and I don't think you could cause, I have not ever seen anything that says that you could cause the cataract to get worse. So that's another area where we're looking at possibly doing some work with an ophthalmologist in the Philadelphia area, particularly with the pen, to see if we might be able to do something with that. But again, this is something that I would not expect to see a dramatic change quickly. Now, you're not going to get 2 or 3 days worth of people now all of a sudden are seeing. Thank you.
What about someone that is sensitive to computers and versus the blanket?
Is this somebody who has been on the blanket and not had a problem, but is sensitive to computers?
Right.
Or somebody who has not been on the blanket and is sensitive to computers?
probably has not been on the blanket, but is sensitive to
computers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In that kind of individual, if they're very sensitive, well, some people call that meteorial sensitivity, some people call it electrical sensitivity. In that kind of individual, you have to go very slow. You have to start at the lowest levels. Start at 1. Let their bodies acclimate or accommodate to that level first, and then gradually begin to increase one step or one level at a time, over taking a week or two between increases in steps before you go to the next level. So whatever protocols we give people, sometimes you get stepped through those protocols, quickly, fairly quickly. What you have to do with this kind of person is to be much slower in the way you step them up.
What about, because computers, don't they produce some kind of a radiation type field?
They produce magnetic field, yeah.
Which is the same thing that the blanket is producing?
No, but it's a different field.
It's a different field.
Yes. The blanket produces 3 types of frequencies. The primary frequency is 250 cycles per second. The computer's terminal is producing a 50-cycle field.
Okay.
Right, or I'm sorry, our AC field, it's in our power lines. It's a 60-cycle field.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we get from the computer.
Right.
So this is a very different field, and the 23 cycles per second on a harmonic basis is supposed to help the body to counteract that effect.
Okay.
Or the biologic effects of the computers on our body.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So you don't have to worry about that in terms of, this is a question that we do deal with sometimes, is what's the difference between these fields and power line fields? They're very, very different. These are therapeutic fields as opposed to what comes out of the power line.
Okay. Thank you.
The other thing that sometimes people ask is, what about polarity? And we don't worry about polarity with the QRS because the QRS field reverses polarity every 2 minutes. So over an 8-minute treatment cycle, you actually have it flip-flopping 4 times. So what it's doing effectively is balancing the body. There is no polarity that by itself on a constant use basis is healthy for the body. That's a Pollockism. So what I'm saying is that the QRS, we don't have to worry about this because you're getting rebalanced all the time. Well, that about does our evening, I think. I really appreciate everybody being on the call. We had some really great questions tonight. We've had some brand new questions that we haven't heard before, and they're always very stimulating. Everybody learns from that. And I hope to see you all again on another call. Good luck with the QRS. Enjoy and keep healthy. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Howard.
Thank you.